Okay, welcome everybody to the Sunday night chart chat. Welcome to all our penny stock billionaires. Yeah, we have to change a little banner up top. This is again to separate this from the official. This is not the official Wall Street Reporter live stream. This is kind of opinions, chart opinions, and the disclaimer for everything is down below. You can read that. Again, everything we talk about, these are all high-risk stocks, highly speculative. And while we have had many winners, many stocks that have doubled, and 7 stocks that are up between 1,300%, 1,200%, and 5,000% in the last 18 months. Many huge winners. Still, these are all high-risk stocks, and you can lose all your money. So that is our official disclaimer. Good evening, Dino, Sylvain, everybody. All right, so what's happening in the markets? The stocks, overall stocks right now are, they're a little bit, I don't want to say shaky. The overall markets, I have up on right now the Dow chart. The overall markets are a little bit shaky, but nothing crazy yet, and we don't know. But again, I think we may be coming towards a near-term top. I think last time I said I'm looking for a kind of February. It could come earlier. This is, again, it's not going to be the end of the world. And especially for a lot of the micro caps that have already had those corrections, it's not going to be that bad. So, because again, a lot of micro caps are down 50% from that March correction. So, for a lot of stocks, pretty much okay. But at the same time, you do want to be on the defense, and I'll kind of go into a couple of things that you should have your eye on. But here's kind of an interesting chart I have here of the Dow, and put in some trend lines here because for some reason on the Dow these look really good. So this is going back to the bottom of the 2009 March 2009 bottom, and as you can see at the top, you have the resistance line, which was originally support lines back in 2009, and you can see this, it's been pretty accurate. And of course, you got a couple of other support resistance lines. So, you have what you've had in the last year since that massive crash, the Corona crash. You've had a climb. And the question is, can the market sustain this kind of rate of climb, this very aggressive angle? Right now, you can see that the Dow is sitting on this, one of the original resistance lines, which is now acting as a support line. You can kind of see this as, it's probably showing up as red. So again, you have a lot of support up until right around, I would say 32, let's just say 32,000, just to be, kind of just to be on the safe side, maybe even 30,000. So there's actually quite a bit of support in the Dow. So, take it for what it is. We might see some short-term volatility. Also, let me go to the Bitcoin chart. I'm going to go to the Bitcoin chart, and then we'll get into everything else. Let me just change out the screen. Okay, stand by while I switch to the next screen here. Okay, this is a visibility in just a few minutes. But anyway, before I get into all the market stuff, there's actually a couple of stocks this week that are looking really good. So we're gonna talk about this. About 3, 4 stocks I think could have a nice run this week. I did say that last week about a couple of things. Some worked out, some didn't work out, which is kind of what you should expect. This is not a sure thing. Okay, things sometimes they go down and then they come back. So it's one of those things where, especially with a stock like Fans Unite. All right, so let's go into. I just want to pull Bitcoin. Again, I'm using Bitcoin here because it's a bellwether for the speculative assets, which microcaps are definitely part of. So you're seeing like in the short term, you're seeing a little bit of weakness. Yeah, you're definitely seeing some weakness here, and you're going to want to watch the average, which is right around 46.8. So let's just say if it breaks that, let's say it goes 46.5. You know what? I would say really, I wouldn't panic until Bitcoin drops below 44,900. Okay, 44,900, 44,000. You might want to, think about things over there, but it does look a little bit weak right now. It probably could drop. Again, you're seeing it breaking below the average on the 1-hour chart. So definitely, I think it's going to test the lows. It's going to test, 44,000. I would say the odds of Bitcoin testing 44,000 are very, very high. And that's going to create some headwinds for many of our stocks. But let's get to the good news right now. Good news is what is looking good for this week. Interesting. Tetra Biopharma. Tetra is, I think it's ready to move now. It's good. This is, it's been pretty quiet for the last, month or two. There's a bit of a flurry of activity. Here we got the 1-hour chart. And as you can see, we got a pretty nice double bottom. You got a nice bounce. Let me just draw you a little trend line here. I'm sure you can see it. I don't need to draw it for you, but I'll do it anyway. So it's this, and it's really this. That's really where it is. So because I would say the VWAP was over there. So pretty interesting actually when you think about it. If you go back, that's where you had that gap up, which the gap from April 18th was filled in late July. So again, it's one of those things where gaps don't always get filled, but they usually do. So anyway, Tetra is looking really good right now. I think this is going to be one of the big movers of the week. And here we go. This is the 1-day. Now, what is this going? What chart is this? What is this? Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. So Friday was a really nice day for the stock. I mean, very, very strong action, nice amount of volume. So it's something, it bears watching. Something is starting to cook. So I would keep your eye on TBP, Tetra. Yeah, something is going on with Tetra. I would definitely keep an eye on it. Right now, this thing looks pretty strong. And I think the real buy signal will be once it breaks out of the moving average, which is the 50-day moving average is at, where is it? It's right about, we're almost there basically. It's like, I don't know, let's just say, you know what? Let's say for argument's sake, 29 cents. I would say the real number is going to be here, 32 cents. But once this thing breaks 29 cents, 29 and a half cents, you're going to see some action. It's amazing that we're still, talking about 29 and a half half pennies. We're talking about half penny increments when this thing really could potentially be $2, $3 stock, very, very quickly. And we've talked about many of the catalysts there, which could make it there. So yeah, it's right now, it's a very nice level of support right here. It's bouncing off there. So watch it this week. If it breaks 29 cents, which I'm pretty sure it will, you're going to see some momentum. And that momentum could carry the stock to new highs, new 52-week highs. So, once it breaks 32 cents, you have a lot of resistance in this 33-cent range, 33-cent range, 34-cent range. Once it breaks out of there, you're going to see you could see a very fast run in the stock. Do you think? Are you talking about TVP? I have no idea. I don't know. Sometimes these things are really crazy. You saw what happened with Visby. I think we were doing the live stream 2 weeks ago, and Monday it gapped up. It had a massive gap up. Of course, Friday we had Sean Black on, and there was a lot of excitement. And Monday the thing gapped up, and I'll jump into the Visby chart right now. Actually, I don't know what's going to happen with TBP like tomorrow morning. I think it'll be. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy, but once it breaks 29 cents. It's going to be pretty good. Again, the thing that right now you want to understand is this: this is a great example of an asymmetric bet. You're risking maybe. I mean, I don't see this breaking anywhere right now. You have a lot of support in this 25-cent range, right? That's where you had the bottom here. So let's say if you're like a crazy day trade or whatever it is, you're a short-term swing trade. You want to put a stop in at, let's say, in theory, 25 cents, but let's just say 23 and a half, because somebody's gonna gun for the stop. So let's say you put a stop in at 23 cents, right? So you're risking roughly a nickel. Okay, you're risking a nickel. Is short-term. I think we could test 60, 70 cents short-term the next few months, and longer-term $2 plus. So 60 cents. You're basically, your upside is short-term 32 cents, downside is 5 cents. Longer-term $2, so that's $1.70. You're basically risking a nickel to make $1.70. That's a good risk reward setup, right? By the way, so before we jump into the next stock, I do want to say, okay, sorry, we froze up for a second. Before we jump into the next stock, I do want to say that in this market right now, you want to be playing kind of defense a little bit. The market's a little bit extended. There's going to be probably some volatility. So here is kind of the game plan, right? Things which are low risk with, you have these very strong risk reward setups. So what does that mean? We don't want to be looking at stocks that are already overextended, that have had massive runs, okay? Anything that's already up, big numbers, you don't want to be putting in new positions or anything like that. Maybe you want to cut back or whatever. So I don't want anything overextended. What I'm looking for is charts that look like this, where you have bases, they're going to bounce. So things which are looking like that. So good looking charts. Two, I want things which are cheap on a relative basis, whether it's a cheap in terms of based on the comps, whether the multiples are cheap. Like, for example, Logic is trading at 2 times revenues, and their peers are trading at 10 times revenue. So I'm looking for 2 times revenue. I'm looking for that cheap, low multiple. I don't want to be paying 10 times revenues for microcap stocks. Okay, it doesn't make any sense to pay crazy multiples for microcaps. You want to look at a massive growth stock, I don't know, whatever, Facebook, whatever, different story. For microcaps, you want to, because you have such high risk, you want to maximize your margin of safety. Okay, the margin of safety, like Warren Buffett would say, is you want things which are cheap in terms of comps. Now, Tetra Biopharma is basically a drug discovery company. They don't really have any revenues right now. They're probably going to have some, they're going to have this new product in the market, but it is cheap though compared to other drug discovery companies which have products in phase 2, which have a similar pipeline. So really, if Tetra was trading like a typical NASDAQ drug discovery company with this type of pipeline, it would be trading at $1 or $2 plus. So that is why you have a big margin of safety. Number two, actually, number one, two. What did I give you? I gave you 1, 2. Yeah, traction. I want things which are like real, right? We need things which have traction. This is not the time to really get into things which are hype, that have a story, they don't have revenues, unless you're getting them really, really cheap. I'm talking about 5-cent, 10-cent stock, something like that, and you want to ride that for a quick double, triple, whatever. Okay. Let's see here. So Tetra, very, very good setup for this week. Let's go into the next one, which I was talking about earlier, Visby. Okay, speaking of gaps. So as you can see, let me just clear this drawing. Okay. Okay. As you can see on this chart, right? Look at this over here. So we had this gap last week, last Monday. We did the live stream Sunday night. Monday morning, the thing gapped up crazy. And of course, it came back down, and the gap did get filled. Okay. And now Friday, on the surface, Friday looks like kind of an ugly. That's what it looks like. But let's kind of dive into the short-term chart. Okay, so here's your 1-hour chart. You can see the gap was filled. Okay, and you got a pennant forming here, and it bounced off that 50 period support, right? The 50 period moving average. It bounced off of there, and it tested it right at the close, the last hour, and it closed like right at that 50 period moving average, 79, 80 cents. Okay. So, this thing right now can go one of two ways. You see this pennant, it can either break out right now, or it could break down. Okay. So if it breaks down, you could probably see maybe a move to 65-cent range. It might come here for a little bit more support. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to break out to the upside. Okay. I think we had a bit of a fake out on Friday. Yeah, it looked a little bit ugly towards the close, but I think this is a pennant that is going to break out to the upside on Monday. Yeah, see, it looked kind of ugly even in the short term. So when I'm saying that I think it's going to break out to the upside, it's not, but looking at this, it doesn't say it's going to happen. But I'm going with a gut feel. We'll Monday if I'm right or wrong. Okay, I'm willing to bet that it's going to. You're going to see a key reversal day on Monday. It's going to close probably in the 83, 85 cent range. Okay. If I'm wrong, I'll be wrong. Okay. My gut is that this thing is gonna turn around Monday. Possibly, we might have a fake out. It might drop a little bit, but then you're gonna see that upside reversal on Tuesday. So I think this thing is looking really good. Okay, and again, let's look at the numbers here. What is the risk reward setup? I think we've covered the fundamentals before, but from a technical perspective, okay, your downside in the stock is, let's say, hmm, uh, it could test, let's say, somewhere in the 50 cent range. So you're risking roughly 30 cents. Okay, you're risking 30 cents. The upside on Visby, I believe, is going to be $3 plus, $4 plus the next couple of months, right? So you're risking 30 cents to make $273. So 10 to 1. I think it's forward setup. And again, so this is a stock. I mean, we introduced this last November, 14 cents, 17, what is 15 cents, whatever the number was, hit 90 cents. So, like a 5x, 6x. This is not over. I think this is going to be a $3, $4 stock in the next couple of months. One of the big winners here. Okay. Let me just catch up with a couple of questions. Let me see if there's any questions, and then we'll continue. Oh, okay. I don't know if it's going to be $1. I don't think it's going to be $1 this week. I think it might be we might be consolidating in this kind of 90 cent range for maybe this week into next week, and then it'll break out to $1. So it might take 10 days, I think, maybe 2 weeks. I don't think it's going to be longer. I think it's going to be pretty quick. No update on bets. Yeah, this is dragging on. I'm gonna put another call into them on Monday, see what's going on. Yeah, this is the problem is this merger that they're doing with this Indian gaming company. You got there's a couple things going on. First of all, you have to realize right now, again, this is not an excuse, but this is Canadian deals. In the summer, it was really, things were very, very slow. Like, people were on vacation. Everything was really slowed down. You have that amplified by the fact that this is a company that they're merging with that's in India. So you got time zones, you got different regulations, It's gonna be it's a little bit complicated. They were supposed to have closed it. They were supposed to have done this deal 6-8 weeks ago. Okay, best case. It's now, we're already in mid-September, so it is very frustrating. So that's the deal. Okay, let's talk about RHT. Okay, so it's very interesting. So RHT, it's a little bit like Visby. Some profit taking. Now this chart, to be honest, this week in the stock looked pretty ugly. Now here's what's interesting. Remember last week I was saying you had that pennant, and it was either going to break out or it could break down, and it broke down. So it broke down from that range. And I did say, I think it was, what is it? This is Monday. I think, what did I do a live stream? I think I did a live stream on Monday. And I said, you know what? I think we got some support here. And no, apparently not. It broke through that. Yeah, you had a level of support in this like $1.10 range. And when it broke that, you're testing now 80 cents, right? So on Friday, if you were watching our Telegram channel, Let me see. I put out on our Telegram channel on RHT right around, I think, what was the stock? It was, yeah, it was like 85 cents, 85 cents. It was also on Twitter, right? I said, hey, I think this is the bottom. If you look at the short-term chart, and from here it could bounce because essentially you've built a base. You've built a really nice base in this level here. So I was looking at this, and I will draw you the chart, the trend line. So basically, that is it. There's also, you could argue that it's really over here. You could argue the trend line is here. Maybe it was it. Yeah, right. In this kind of range, you got a level of support, and it tested the support. It went a little bit below the support. If you're looking at those trend lines, and now it's bouncing back. I think RHT is looking pretty good for Monday. I think we could see a pop. Now, it is not a. Let me see here. It is. I think a nice bounce Monday, but it's looking like it took a big hit this week. I mean, the chart had a lot of damage. It had a lot of damage. When it looks like this, it's going to take a little while to kind of repair this. So you're going to have to build a base here in this 80-cent range for a little while. So you're going to have to watch this stock. I don't think Relic is going to be a high flyer this week because it's really just going to be rebuilding. It has to be in a rebuilding mode, basically. Oh, yeah. Paulo, of course. Thank you. Yes, we have to say promote the channel. So if you're brand new to the channel, click the like button for the video, the notification bell, and subscribe if you're brand new. Okay, if you're brand new, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you also join our email list, our Telegram channel, Twitter. The links for that are in the video description below. And if you're watching this video not live, but afterwards, make sure you leave comments in the video. Say whatever you want. Just whatever comments you say is always good because the comments help the algorithm. Oh, look at this. Okay, we got another penny stock billionaire. You made 10x. Did you wait? Now, what does this mean? Did you make 10x with one? Your whole portfolio is up 10x. That's the question. Because are you one of our newest penny stock billionaires? Because we've already had a bunch of guys that are up huge numbers. So let's see, Delic and GazX. Okay, I'll give you Delic. I haven't looked at GazX. We might, yeah, I don't know what's going on with GazX. Is technically their deal just expired months ago. So it was like a short-term thing. Let me look at this. We might, it was very annoying because that thing to move. But it wasn't. We weren't really doing an involved campaign with them, so I don't know. Okay, Delic, very interesting chart with Delic. Something has been going on for the last 10 days roughly. Look at this chart. Okay, you broke out of a base here. You broke out of this base in a 30-cent range, 28-cent, 30-cent range, right above the moving average. Big volume, popped on big volume, came down, tested the moving average, broke out again, gapped up. Something is going on. Something is cooking. So it's not really, again, this chart doesn't give you like any real, it's not like something where you have 100% certainty. There's just not enough data on it. Look, the chart is very messy. The chart has very little data, not a lot of trading in here, so you can't really go off of off of this too much. You got to look at the 1-day chart. So something is going on. I don't know what it is, but there's definitely action starting to happen. And look, something is, you can see in the volume, you can see in the price action. So it could be, we might see a big move based on what you saw. It could, have a massive move here. I mean, it could pop to 50 cents or whatever. But there's not enough data yet in this chart. You kind of have to go off the fundamentals. So that's Delic. Okay, talked about RHT. Let's talk about fans. One of our long-time stocks. Okay, so again, fans, we introduced this last year. I don't know, was it 20 cents last late? I think it was August. I think it was August or July last year. Had a move to over $2, two and a quarter, right? It's been building a base for the last 5 months, 6 months now. You broke above this 50-day moving average on big volume. It looks like this thing is back in play here. It's back in momentum mode. And when fans gets going, this thing makes moves. This thing definitely makes moves. So what is going on with fans? Again, I think we're going to see $3-4 on fans next 6 months. It was already a 10 bagger, right? We had that 10x. Actually, no, it was more. It was from, I don't know, 20 cents to 12x, I think, roughly. 10, 12x. I don't know. What difference does it make? I mean, if you started with 10 grand, you would have made over 100 grand in the stock in 6 months. It's getting ready to do it again. Now, of course, at this point, it's already 96 cents. I don't think it's going to go to $9. I don't think it's going to go to $10. I mean, it could. We've seen this happen. But I think $4 is pretty safe. Again, you built a low base here, and what's going to happen is, I think once it tests this $2 range, you could see it break out and then go to $4 just based on this kind of, catapult that it's doing here. Okay, fans. Yeah, look at this. Okay, so again, you have this pennant forming, right? Again. Okay, and now again, this can go one of two ways. It can break down or it can break out. But you get this pennant, you get this range, and I would say the odds are very, very high. I have very high certainty that it's going to break out to the upside, okay? If it breaks to the downside, I would be shocked. I would be completely shocked. I would say 99% certain that this thing is going to break out to the upside. I mean, very, very high probability this week. And once it breaks out, where it's going to go? It's going to go probably to, you're going to close this gap at $1.20. That's going to be the first level, first target. And after that, after $1.20, right here, after it closes $1.25, it's pretty much going to be, it's kind of escape velocity at that point. So this week, I think, is a key week for fans. And I've said this. I've used that line many, many times about fans. And this is a kind of a tricky stock. It does weird things, but I would say the odds are 90% that this thing is going to break out on Monday, Tuesday, and you're going to see $1.25. So this one, I'm really confident with this chart. Again, just based on this chart, that it's going to be a very strong week for fans. So fans are looking amazing. Speaking of other kind of in a related area, again, totally different business, but for some reason people lump them together, is ESC Entertainment. because they're in the esports space. So they're consolidating the esports space. Now, we had Conrad on our live stream Friday morning. It was live from the Nürburgring, Germany, the racetrack, Nürburgring, at the, what they call the Sim Racing Expo, massive expo. And it was pretty interesting. He had the CEO of Digital Motorsports, that's the company that they just acquired. So watch that interview. They're roughly, I think he said, what, 25 million run rate right now? Let's say 20 million run rate. Last December, he was at, I don't know, 2 million run rate. So, that's a big number. Now, of course, I think the reason why the stock is where it is right now at $1 is because early on he said, again, my goal is, he said, my goal is to get this to $100 million run rate this year. And, the market ran with that. And look, it's always buy the rumor, sell the news. So in February, March, it went crazy. The stock went from, we introduced this at like 30 cents. It went to 4 and change, 440. So it was 12x, 14x. And, it got way ahead of itself, right? It got way ahead of itself. And now it's amazing. It's back to where the stock was last January, at the start of January. And he's actually delivered. So this is the perverse thing about the market. When you actually deliver, by the time you deliver, it's already been discounted. It's already, buy rumor, sell the news, right? So, but here's the thing. I think he's got a couple of other deals up his sleeve right now, right? He said, look, we're going to exit 2021 with $100 million run rate. So, and I'm going to discount that. I'm going to say, look, he's probably going to, at the rate they're going, they might do 50 million. They might pick up you never know, but let's say probably, let's say 50 million run rate, right? If they do that, I mean, this thing it could be worth 10x, 500 million. So, that you have a massive upside in the stock. So I think we're going to go back to $4 plus, even higher. The stock has been kind of in since July, when they did that financing. And again, everybody knows what happens with these Canadian financings. These things kind of get derailed. So it's been everything. Anytime a company does a financing in Canada, 9 out of 10 times the stock gets derailed for months, whether it was Tetra, Fans, Peak FinTech back then, Logic. Man, I can go through the list. I mean, it's like 9 out of 10 times these things get derailed for months, right? So I think what's happened is this thing has gotten derailed, and now it's looking to build that base. And once it does, you're going to start seeing this thing move. Now, the thing is, this is a very, very tight stock. So once it moves, I mean, it could really explode, just like you saw back in January when it went from $1 to $4 in like a month. Oh, wow. Okay, it was up 10x. Wow. Okay. Now, did you buy? I mean, which stocks did you buy? I mean, don't tell me you put everything into one stock. Don't tell me that you did the Calvin Ting, YOLO thing, the Wall Street bets thing. I hope you diversify, but I'm curious to know which stocks you bought that you're up 10x. So how long did it take you? That's what we'd like to know. Again, hey, listen, that's pretty good. $5,000, and you turned it into 50 grand. Okay. I mean, I'm assuming that if you did 10x, it would be 50 grand. Which stocks? This is what we need to know. Tetra Biopharma, yes, Friday, big volume, looking very, very good for this week. Chris, I 100% agree. The fundamentals are incredible. If they deliver what they're saying they're going to deliver, in terms of to hit a $2 million a month 2 million month revenues, 25 million run rate by December, late December. You're going to have probably a $5 stock very quickly. Um, Thoughts on Trip? Yeah, I don't know, man. We haven't worked with Trip in, I don't know, since May, I think, June. So they're not a client anymore. I'm a little bit disappointed about like that they've gone under the radar. There was all promotion, and talk into, and then this merger didn't. And now they've gone quiet. I don't know what's going on. I hope it works out. But Friday was not looking good. Okay, Logic. Let's go to Logic. Yeah, so we're seeing right now some things are taking, it's a little bit choppy. So bottom line with ESC, let me finish off with ESE, is this thing is looking right now for a catalyst. I think we've seen the bottom here. To me, this chart indicates a bottom. I think we've seen the bottom. It's like a double bottom here. This is the short term. I would say, look, the downside here, I don't think it's going to go below, what is it, 92 cents. Risking basically a nickel, 10 cents. And the upside is, I think we're going to see $4 again. So you're risking 10 cents to make $3. 30 to 1. 30 to 1 is that's your risk reward proposition, 30 to 1, based on where this thing is right now. I think that's a pretty good risk reward setup. Okay, look at this. Okay, so you were in CBDT, okay, peak. So CBDT, probably, if you got into CBDT, that could have accounted for a massive part of your thing, because yeah, that thing went from a nickel to 250 in 4 months. So if you got into CBDT anytime under a dime, you would have done really well. Visby, okay, Visby. Listen, I think Visby is going to be really good. Wow, you've actually had yeah, it's pretty interesting. Look, we've had stocks that we introduced in the last I don't know, 12 months. Is it 15? It might be 15 stocks. I'm not sure. Somebody I'm sure is doing the math, but we've had a couple dogs, very candid. We've had a couple dogs. We've had about 3 or 4 dogs. We've had, let's say if we had 15 companies, we had 3 or 4 dogs, and the rest, 12 were the worst winner was a double. Even the dogs moved. Even our dog stocks at least moved between 50% and a double before they crapped out. Like what's that? Yeah, like that stock, RYMDF. Okay, so let me just go through a couple things here. Okay, again, anybody that's watching us, make sure you click the like, subscribe button, join our email list, Telegram channel. Link is in the video description. We are also on Twitter, on Discord, all the other good stuff. Okay. Logic. Let's go into Logic. Yeah, I see. By the way, I see a couple of questions I addressed earlier, so I don't want to go back to things here. But okay, everything I see on the screen has been talked about earlier. Okay, so now this is been very frustrating in the last little while. So again, stock that we introduced at 350 last July, mid-July. 350, it ran to $14 and change. As soon as they announced the Canadian financing going to the New York exchange, this is what happened. Again, the Canadian fund For all you Canadians, you can buy this stock in your TFSA account because it trades on the NEO exchange. By the way, that's not a recommendation to buy or sell securities, not an investment advice. What's going on here? Okay, so you had this thing bottomed out. This thing bottomed out at 2.25. Wow, brutal. Bottomed out at 2.25. You create this little bit of a flag. It broke out of there, did another flag, pennant, and now it broke below it, but it's still holding above this moving average, this 50-day moving average. So it's looking, I would say it's not looking terrible. But I think this thing has hope. Again, I think with this stock logic, here's the thing. I think the upside in the stock short term is 14 to. So basically, at this point, the downside is, let's call it 2.25. So you're risking 75 cents. Let's call it $1. You're risking $1 to make $13 because, $15. Sorry, let me back up. You're risking $1 to make about $13 because I think this is going to go to 16. So you got $13 of upside. The downside is limited to 2.25. Again, that's what it looks like on the chart. Not an investment advice. I think we're seeing a bit of a fake out over here where it's been pushed down a little bit. I think the odds of this bouncing from here to the upside is about 70%. I'm not giving you 100. Was it the fans thing? I think I showed you, whatever. This thing is 70% that it's going to go higher this week. It's going to go break out to the upside. 30% chance it could break down again to 250. It's kind of hanging in the balance. Again, I'm not chat thing. This is not we're not giving you official company information. I'm just giving you purely my opinion, subjective opinion based on charts, nothing to do with fundamentals. So what you have is you have this thing bounced off of $3 support, this trend line here, which is pretty good. So let's see what happens Monday, Tuesday, okay? But what I like about this, they're doing 38 million in revenues, okay? 38 million in revenues. It's trading at 70 million market cap. So you're trading at 2 times, the multiple is only 2x. You got a lot of catalysts, a lot of things happening, which could really increase revenues. The CEO the chairman, Brenson, talked about getting to about 100 million run rate the next 12 months through organic growth, through M&A. And look, they've done it before. They've done M&A. They've done a lot of deals. So when they do it, you can see this thing moving. Again, it's trading at 2 times the revenues. Some of their peers are trading at 20 times the revenues. So it's an arbitrage opportunity. Okay, so Paulo got into CBDT at 30 cents. Okay, on the way up. Actually, that was the breakout. 30 cents was that's when it had that escape velocity moment. You got out at $2. You got back in. I don't know what price that's pretty good. That's a pretty good, this guy timed it exactly right. You know what? I'll tell you what, you could be our mini Calvin Ting. This is, so Calvin, I think, turned $2,000 into like $1 million. But the thing is, he went all in on one stock, multiple times. He parlayed one thing a couple times. I think he started with CloudMD, then it was what's the other one he did? I think he did a little bit of CBD. Did he was in CBD? But a couple of the stocks. Excuse me. So the point is this, though. The point is, I happen to like Calvin's. I think Calvin is, guy's got a phenomenal, mindset, trading mindset, um, and so if you like TBP, so if you were successful with those stocks, right, and you got into the level, and now you like TBP, that makes me like TBP more. So if it's got the Powell endorsement, I think that's a very strong positive. Again, because I like to see that. I like to see when people who've when other winners jump onto a stock, that means something's going to happen. What's tripping up Trip? I'll tell you what it is. I mean, again, I'm a little bit biased. I would say because they went off the radar. They stopped. You don't see the CEO doing any kind of promotion. You don't see him. It doesn't have to do with us. I don't care where he goes. I don't care if he goes on whatever. Just because I think one of the big problems, one of the big mistakes a lot of the companies make. You saw this happen with CloudMD. Again, great companies, right? Nothing to do with fundamentals. But once they go on our platform, once they kind of get people hooked on that connection to this, and that information flow direct from the CEO, they build up an audience, and you get people used to that, and then you disappear, and you don't replace that with anything, then things kind of die down. I mean, that's what happened with CloudMD. It's what happened with Skylight. I mean, it's happened with Trip. It's annoying. It's annoying. I don't know what. It's not an isolated case. The point is this. Once a company starts, connecting with investors, right? I'll give you a perfect case in point. You see this guy all the time. Prior to us talking to investors on our program, other live streams, and then all of a sudden he goes MIA, right? I mean, he's not. He doesn't care about the retail. I mean, the retail investors. Okay, the retail is what got him to where he is. Okay, if it wasn't for Wall Street Reporter, if it wasn't for the retail following that he built up online, that stock would have been like, I don't know, would have been it wouldn't have gone anywhere. I don't believe so. Okay, because he was able to raise money to pay for the acquisitions as a result of a higher stock price. Same thing with CloudMD. Okay, CloudMD, case in point. The thing was nowhere, and once they started getting in front of investors, building up that relationship, the retail audience, things started moving. They were able to raise money. They were able to do acquisitions. All of a sudden, the thing goes to $3, and the company thinks, oh, we're too good for the retail now. We're only going to do institutions. We're very busy. We're only going to focus on the institutional one. Let me tell you something. Institutions, I think it's a Canadian mindset. I don't think these guys realize that. U.S. institutions, they don't give, how do I say this in polite English? I don't want to get the YouTube thing. I don't want to get the algorithm, but they don't give a flying hoot, okay, about $2-3 stocks, okay, $4 stocks. They really don't. I mean, I know that's the big. They don't even care about any of these Canadian stocks that go on NASDAQ. They don't really care about. I mean, because again, when you're on NASDAQ, U.S. institutions, they're looking at are doing $1 billion. Once you're on NASDAQ, now you're in a big ocean. You're like a tiny minnow in a big ocean with giant whales. And there's so many other stocks out there. Now you're competing with thousands and thousands of stocks that have sexier stories. Okay, when you're you're when you're trading on the CSC or the TSX, whatever it is, and it could be a high flyer stock. Yeah, it's basically like somebody who's okay, they're again, I'm not a sports guy, so I might screw up the whole metaphor, but in high school or whatever it is, you're a star athlete in Des Moines, Iowa. Okay, you're the star quarterback. Okay, then maybe you get to college at that level. It's a little tougher. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's really good, especially, and when you get to the NFL level, oh my God, then you're basically, I don't know, you're a nobody. So same thing with these things. I mean, I think companies that are on the TSX, CSE, nothing wrong with those exchanges. You could build up a huge thing, but don't drop the retail. I mean, a big mistake to drop the retail following. I mean, don't take retail for granted. I mean, it's the stupidest thing. I mean, even massive companies, massive blue chip stocks reach out to retail investors as marketing. They don't depend on it, but they they see the value in it. They do ads, they do all sorts of stuff. I mean, so let's go back to which stocks was I talking before I went. Sorry about that. Okay, so Logic looking pretty good. ESC, very good setup. Which one did I cover everything? Okay, so let's kind of recap here. What is looking amazing this week? Okay, stocks to watch this week for amazing moves. TBP, Tetra Biopharma. Look at this action here. I think Monday fireworks. It might take to Tuesday, but this week I think you're going to see a big move in Tetra. Fans Unite. This week set up for a big move. Again, look at the 1 hour chart. You're going to see a breakout from this pennant formation. Visby, I think what we saw on Friday was a fake out, and we're going to be breaking out to the upside from this formation. Now, the odds of this, I would say, is 75%, 75%. On fans, it's like 90%. Visby, I'm not 100% sure. You might see it go a little bit lower, but the odds are it's going to break out to the upside. And from there, we could see a move towards $3-4 on the stock. Okay, what else is hot this week? So you got Tetra, you got fans, you got Visby. Now, worth watching. It's amazing. Again, ESC could wake up. It's like a volcano, it's been dormant for a little while, smoking. Again, this is a volcano stock. You could see what happened the last time this volcano exploded, right? The last time the volcano erupted, this level from $1, it went to $4 in 8 weeks. Okay, 4x in 8 weeks, and 12x, from the early on. So this volcano is just a little bit quiet right now, but it's going to blow. I am convinced. Okay, so let's see here. What else is looking good this week? I showed you Visby. Logic, keep an eye on. Pretty good odds for a breakout to the upside. RHT, a little bit tricky here. I mean, I think we've hit the bottom. The chart looks ugly. You do have a strong level of support right here in this 80 cent range. You guys see what happens this week. I think what we're going to see is a Q reversal day tomorrow where it closes like 95 cents. Pretty sure. AIML, FCO. Okay. Oh yeah. Let me talk about those. Those have been a little bit quiet. I mean, so AIML is like it's another one of those volcano stocks that the volcano exploded a couple times. So again, this thing. We introduced this at 70 cents, I think it was. So doubled in like a week. Then it's been quiet for the last 6 months. This chart, what's happening? It broke out of the 50-day moving average, right? I mean, it's looking like it's trying to make a base here and move up. So it's holding up above there. I'd like to see a little more momentum, upside momentum. So this week it was a rough week for the stock. If you look at this short term, the 1 hour chart, it's below that moving average. So which means it could drop a little bit. We got to see what happens the next day or so. So I would say this thing is the short term, the couple day trend is not looking good. Long term, meaning a few weeks out, looking very good. So I think this thing has a shot of going to $2-3 easily. FCO is kind of just hanging out. I mean, it's been hanging out for like a while now. Let me see here. So again, we introduced this last December at, I think it was 6 cents. 6 cents. It doubled in the first day. It went to 40 cents. And again, buy the rumors, sell the news, right? So people got very excited as soon as the company starts drilling and everything else, and they've had some really good results. Waiting for something huge. They're waiting for something huge. So it's kind of just hanging out here. It's like waiting for a catalyst to move up. That's what's going on with FCO. So yeah, look, again, just because you're on NASDAQ, it means nothing. I mean, NASDAQ has thousands of stocks and much, much more exciting stories. Again, Skylight, great business, great fundamentals, great story, but you're competing with other companies, right, that have a lot more going on, that are more liquid. So you need retail. They need retail support. Uranium. I like uranium. Actually, I bought some uranium stocks like 3 years ago, and it's been all of a sudden now it's started to move. I'm a big believer in the uranium play. Let's see here. Okay, so this week, fans, TBP, ESC, and Visby. Those are the stocks to watch. Again, make sure you leave your comments down below in the video if you're watching afterwards. Subscribe to our channel. Join our Discord channel. The link is in the video description below. And also our email list and all that other good stuff. Thank you for joining, and I will see you all on the next live stream.